Hello and welcome to today's open house training session. During today's session, we're going to look at the CRM on the Apple iOS devices. So I'm going to be using an iPad, but the functionality is the same on an iPhone. And during this webinar, we're going to go over how to find specific customers using the search functionality, how to quickly gain insights into their spend, and just to best aid your call prep or just find information for that customer. If you have any questions as we go along, I've got a colleague on the live chat who's ready to answer them, so go ahead, ask away. And as always, I'm using our demo system, which is based on a builder's merchant and has a date range that runs into November, just a demo date range. So you can search for customers in a couple of locations. So either you can tap the accounts icon at the bottom of the screen to go through to the accounts section, or you can also search for the customers and prospects right from your home page using that search bar just below the Sales Eye logo. So if you tap on that, type in the name of the customer that you want to search for, hit search, and that takes you a quick link through to your accounts section here. Shows you the results for that list. So I can see my earthworm building merchant customer there on the left hand side. If you do go via the accounts icon, you will see this view. And as you can see here at the top, you are looking on the left hand side at your top 50 spending accounts. Something to note here, if you are going to use this filter search results icon along the top, if you tap in here and start typing, that is just going to filter your results for the top 50 spending accounts. So if there is a specific customer in there that you know you want to see, and you know that they're in that list of top 50 spending accounts, DA Blackwell, for example, you can filter that list. But the thing to note is that it is not a search. So if I search for that customer that I was searching for a second ago, it won't show because that customer is not in my top 50 spending accounts. So that is just a filter. If you do want to search for an account, you use the magnifying glass just at the top in the blue bar along the top towards the middle of the screen. You tap on that magnifying glass to bring up your search fields. So you can search just by typing in your name of your customer, account number. We've got lots of videos on our support site that talk about really specifying your search, bringing in these search fields here to search for more in-depth things. But if I tap on this arrow to bring down my search fields, just an example, I can deselect my name, deselect account number, and select my zip or postal code just here. And now I can search for a particular postcode area. So if I'm searching for the customers that we have that are in the postcode area of LL47, for example, I can hit and then my list of results on the left hand side for any of those customers that are in the LL47 area. So if you ever need to go back and mend your search, you just tap on that magnifying glass at the top of the screen again in that blue bar, because remember the one underneath filters your search results. Go back, change, let's say LL47 is not the one I want LL71. I can hit search in the top right corner and search for any accounts that are falling within the LL71 postcode area. So near Anglesey in Wales. And those are all my lists of customers on the left hand side. Now to view a bit more information about that customer, you can just tap on the customer. So I'm going to tap on Wilson and Payne here on the left hand side to look at more information about that customer. Now what I'm going to do along the top blue bar, just to the right of my magnifying glass, there's two diagonal arrows. So underneath where it says the time, I'm going to tap that just to broaden this out and just view Wilson and Payne's account details. I don't want to see my results list, just to make it nice and big. So I've got information here about this customer. We can see their customer account number, their name, the address, telephone number. And if I tap on this customer analysis field here, I can see a bit more information here, more customer analysis fields. All of this information from the sales territory north upwards, that is all pulled through from the back office system. So if you need to edit that, you don't edit it within SalesEye. If you say, for example, they've changed their telephone number, you would change that in your back office system, your invoicing system, and then overnight that will get updated in SalesEye. Close that down. Then I'm going to go and have a look at our insights. So insights is just a real great way to just quickly grab information on this customer's spend and other information too. So I'll tap on the arrow on the other side of insights just to bring that down, open up that accordion of all of this information. So the first thing that I see right at the top of the screen, I've got my follow-up call note. So this is the last call that I had with Wilson and Payne, the last note that was added against this customer. So I gave a demo on products A, B, and C, and the customer is interested in products B and C. So I need to call them with pricing information to secure this order. That's really key information. The last conversation that they had with the customer is right there for me to view and to read. Underneath that, I've got a bit more information about sales data. So I can see the 12-month comparison. So comparing the current 12 months to the previous 12 months. And that's broken down by sales value, profit, and item count, so the quantity of items they've ordered from you. It's good to see for Wilson and Payne, all three of those areas I'm up, so it's green. If I was down in any of those areas, those blocks would be red. Underneath that, we've got a 3-month spend summary. So again, real quick insight into their spend, just to see how they're spending in the current 3 months this year versus those same periods last year. And then we can see the variance on the right-hand side between those two dates. So green, I'm up in spend, and red, I've got a negative variance there for one of those 3 months. Now, underneath that, we have an opportunity to see if this customer falls into any campaigns that have been created by my power user. So I can see from here, just at a glance, I can see some really key information that's going to really influence how I speak with people, what I'm saying to them, any conversations that I need to have. So my customers, I can see that this customer, second campaign down, was one of my top 50 customers in the last 12 months. I can see right at the bottom that they fall into a campaign of customers spending over £1,000 but are shrinking by more than 10% in sales value this year to date versus the previous year to date. So they're one of my top 50 customers and they're falling in spend this year versus last year. So already there's a little red flag going up, a conversation starter. But as luck would have it, I've got a nice campaign just at the top. The first campaign that we come to gives me a good cross-sell opportunity. So I can see this customer falls into this campaign that says it's a customer who bought cement but not bought sand in the last 3 months. So they've bought cement, but there's a cross-sell opportunity there for me to sell them sand as well. So even though they're falling in spend, I've already got identified a cross-sell, upsell opportunity. So that's your insights there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and close that down just to give me a bit more space. Underneath the insights, we've got actions, and this is just icons, different icons that show you access to different pieces of information about your customer. So going left to right, top to bottom, we've got contacts. I'll tap on that. Any contacts that are against this customer, you can view. If I tap on Betsy Meany, for example, the VP of Finance, I can see because Betsy has a phone number and an email address against her, I can just tap on that phone to give her a call right from within the app, or indeed give her an email. If you need to add more contacts, there's a plus sign up in the top right corner underneath the battery percentage sign. Little white plus, you can add any more contacts in. Call history notes. I've got access to any historical notes, any conversations that I've had with the customer. So rather than just having that one last conversation that I had with them that I can see within Insights, if there's an ongoing conversation, I can see that the notes of that conversation in the call history notes. There's lots of videos on our support site of how to add a note, add a new note against that customer from within the account section. So you can check those out on our support site. There's also a way to view any opportunities. So any opportunities that have been set up against this customer, view those, edit them, add them, ongoing there. I can see at the moment for Wilson and Payne, there are no opportunities against that customer, so good to know. And then the second line down, I've got a quick link to the inquiry section to run an inquiry based just on this customer, see information about this customer only, get rid of all my other customers. I've got the option to generate a snapshot report. A snapshot report is a customized business report for this customer. So you may not need to use it at every call that you have, but it's a really great tool just to keep in your back pocket. It's customer facing documents, so there's no gross profit, there's no profit margins on there, just two values, quantity and cost. Nothing that a customer couldn't work out just by looking at their invoices, but just really useful, nice, clean looking presented data. They're just generated just at a touch. Moving along, we've got the campaigns. Again, that's exactly what we've seen in the Insights, any campaigns that this customer falls into. And then the last row, we've got spend mix analysis, and that shows me, if I tap on that, shows me how this customer spends. So you can see the bars. That's how this customer is spending based on the market average of all of my customers, and that's the little line graph running through. So I can tap onto these bars just to see information about it. So I can see this bar, the black bar is plumbing. I can see they're way above the market average for plumbing. If I go across to this blue bar in the middle, for tools, they're actually falling below the market average. So I've identified there's another area that I can potentially upsell within. I could say, look, did you know that we sell tools? Is there a way we can push more sort of tools onto this customer? And then the last two icons there, we've got targets. You can view any targets that have been set up against this customer. That is dependent on whether or not those targets have been added in by your power user. And then lastly, document storage is an optional extra feature where you can add any photos or documents against that particular customer, and you can view those documents in the document storage icon. And the very last thing we'll look at is the CRM details at the bottom. These are customizable areas that your power user can add in and allows you to segregate and segment your customers based on custom criteria. So we can see we've got a few CRM extras that have been added in by my power user. But if I go into, for example, this projects one here, I know that this customer, Wilson and Payne, is part of my Iceland project for Wales. I can see that just at the top of the screen. So if you needed to edit that, you can go through, pop them in, hit save in the top corner, and that is now saved. And the good thing about those CRM details here is that you can actually, on some of them, you can run inquiries. So you can run an inquiry, say, show me all of my customers that are based in Wales as part of my Iceland project. So really, really useful, customizable information that we've got there. Thanks for attending today's open house webinar training on CRM for iOS. Like I said, we've covered doing an account search, making use of our insights to gather vital information ahead of calling a customer and prepping for those calls. And we've also taken a look at the other areas that are available within the CRM of your iOS account. If you have any questions about anything that we've covered today or any future webinars, do just give us an email at webinars@sales-i.com. That's webinars@sales-i.com. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with another open house training session to go ahead and learn some more of Sales I. Thank you.